So holidays and the Easter holiday coming up, I wanted to share with you some of my treasures from my collection. I'm going to start out with actually the Vintage Notions book. Here I go again. And share with you the chapter that, because we're talking about daffodils, I thought I'd share the daffodils in the Vintage Notions book. And you can see right here, this page with the little garden of daffodils. And the title of this essay is Grow Young with the World, 1927. And it's just a field of daffodils. I don't know if you live near a field of daffodils that you can enjoy, but they're one of my favorite flowers. And I actually just picked up the daffodils here behind me at the grocery store for, I don't know, $1.80 for a bunch. They were super affordable and they've lasted all week long enough to be here for my live. Another page in the Vintage Notions book talks about Easter fashion as well as decorating Easter eggs. So, and I love the ideas that are listed there, drying the shells and actually taking your Easter egg shells, dyeing them, but using them to plant a little flower in the shell of half of an Easter egg, which I think is a fun idea, as well as coloring eggs. And then you'll see some fun Easter fashion in the Vintage Notions book. Now, most of you might know that the Vintage Notions book is based on material that was from the correspondence school, that correspondence school that Mary Brooks Picken, who I spoke of earlier, she founded that school. And this is a issue of their Inspiration magazine. So many of the essays that you see that are in the book come from this magazine, this little newsletter that they did. And so since this newsletter has daffodils on the cover, I decided I'd share. And I love the little gingham dress and the basket of eggs, not to mention the little Mary Jane shoes. So these issues have been so inspiring to me over the years. And I love to be able to share the graphics particularly because I think they're timeless. And the school had the same illustrator throughout the 25 years the school was in existence or more. And so we see just each month beautiful art. And I wanted to share one little Easter page in here. I thought this was super cute. Here you can see the little Easter novelties, decorating eggs or drawing on eggs, just fun ideas for what we're doing. You know, what's old is new again. That's such a tradition for families to dye eggs and decorate. I actually found a really fun decoration for eggs in my vintage collection that I hadn't even opened this, so I opened it for you guys. So this little treasure is a Denison Craft package, and Denison just did wonderful craft items and produced, well, and I think they're still maybe in business today. They're just not making and focused on crafts and that type of paper crafting. They were the company behind crepe paper being so huge back in the day for decorating for holidays and other things. And so you can see there's our cute little egg, rabbit and chick. I'm going to show you, let's see, I paid $3.95 for this. But this morning I actually ripped it open. It was sealed and I ripped it open so I could show you guys what's inside. So I want to say hi to people. I appreciate everybody. Hey, there's Bob and there's Sharon. Hi, Sharon. I appreciate everybody being on. Let's see who else is out there. Kathy, Sally. Let's see if I can scroll through these. I'm learning to use this. Marianne Adams from Yuma. Hi, Marianne. Diane from Canada. Thanks for watching. Kathy from Minnesota. It's so much fun to see where everybody is and again, I appreciate you guys tuning in live. I know it's all, everybody's got things going on, so it takes a special effort to make time to jump on the live event, but I do really, really appreciate it. And there's Nancy. Hi, Nancy. Pam. Great. Good to see you guys. Good to see everybody. So there's our precious little egg decorating. And so I had to open it and see what was inside. So here they are. There's the little bunny, and here's the little chick. Let's see if I can get them to show for you. There you go. And you can imagine how they were added to the egg. They were folded like this, and then they had like a gum, so you would moisten the gum on the back of the paper, and then you'd actually open up this little edge and apply it to your egg. In fact, I brought some of my vintage Easter eggs to share with you, so we could show you how that worked. And daffodil again, we've got another daffodil. Here's the little glass egg that's hand painted. I'm not exactly sure where I found this treasure. I've had it for a few years. So here's one with a daffodil, and then I have a little smaller one to share that's blue. Uh-oh, there goes our bunny. So here are a couple hand-blown glass Easter eggs. So you can imagine that they were in somebody's Easter basket, and I have a vintage Easter basket back here. Not sure if everybody can see it. Looks like I'm navigating between making sure people on Instagram can see things and people on Facebook. So I have one camera vertical and one camera horizontal. So I'll appreciate all your patience. And I'll try to pull everything out and show it specifically so everybody can see what I've got. So those are the little eggs. And my thought was I can do this hopefully without dropping and breaking an egg. But you can imagine how the little Easter bunny was put on the egg like that, on the real egg, not our glass egg. But these are just beautiful, I think. Another egg that I have back here in the basket is a paper mache or pressed cardboard egg, and you can see here that this one is covered in paper, and it has an image. I'm not sure there's actually a daffodil on it. I may have missed it on this one, but I wanted to share it with you, and you can see inside there's actually a beautiful print paper on the inside of this too. And I still had my tag in there that said Easter egg found in England, originally filled with Easter candy, 1920s. So this is a 1920s piece. And I think the way it was made was actually the paper. You can see the little strips. So it must have been something that people cut and then were able to paste together. So thank you. I'm glad you like the egg. I appreciate you guys letting me know that you appreciate seeing this fun stuff, these treasures. All right, so that I've got the eggs. Now I kind of came down to the fact we were going to talk about eggs and bunnies today, and partly because, well, first of all, this is the vintage image that I put in my newsletter that you might have received this morning. So if any of you, if you don't already sign up and receive my amyberkman.com newsletter, hop on over to Amy Berkman and sign up, because I share some fun graphics, and I also share a lot of fun ideas for, decorating vintage inspired fashion, as well as embroidery and sewing, all sorts of fun things that you can do with vintage made modern, as I like to say. And I appreciate all the hearts I'm seeing and people waving at me who are out there. Let's see, there's Michelle. And there's Carol. Hi, Carol. So Michelle just posted a link to the newsletter sign up in the feed. And she's here helping me. Thanks, Michelle.
You're welcome.
There she is. We're going to get her on camera one of these days. Maybe in April, it'll be her month, right? Okay, so this is the free image, and how much fun, again, there's a giant egg. How much fun is that graphic? And my idea for you to use this could be just making a little, like a little tag. Maybe put it on some Easter treats, maybe a bag of Easter candy for somebody. Just charming graphics with nostalgia. People love to receive something just simple as this. And then we also have some other graphics that I wanted to share, and particularly one, again, with bunny and eggs and daffodils. This image has it all for you. And you can see there, fun image. And my idea was, here's your daffodils, right? Take them, your hostess gift, or put them out on the table for your Easter brunch, and then you've got a little tag you could hang off of your daffodils. How about that? Who likes that? Let me know. And, I couldn't go without put a button on it, right? I could not go without putting a button on it. And what button? I've got a beautiful mother of pearl button. So if you like mother of pearl buttons, let me know. We've done some Facebook Lives about mother of pearl buttons, and you might have seen that I have some YouTube videos about mother of pearl buttons. So keep those in mind if you're out, searching for treasures. They're a wonderful find, and I also use them, as you can see here, as the base of my flowers many times. And I think it's just a really pretty touch on a table. So there you have the little bunny, and he is available if you go to amyberkman.com in our library of images, digital images, and we have holiday as a category, and you can find him there. We have free printables as a category, and that's where you can find this fun little graphic of the kids with the little chicken pulling the cart. So this was our rabbit. Right now, I'm going to share with you some rabbits from my collection that are kind of unique and different. First of all, this and mother of pearl buttons. Look at this little guy. He reminds me of the Velveteen Rabbit. Can I say that? Who loves the Velveteen Rabbit story? It's a great little story. So there he is. He's got cute button eyes, and you can see his eyes are like the fish eye, as I call it, but mother of pearl button, where it's just a 2-hole button, right? And then I have another bunny to introduce for you. And I want to tell you, this little guy I actually bought at a handmade fair in London a couple years ago when I went on a wonderful textile tour with Betsy Blodgett. A grand textile tour is her, and I hope to go on another one of those someday with Betsy. I'll try to share more about those trips now that maybe things are opening up and we can all think about traveling again. So here's the little fisheye, and then I also have a bunny. This is Tamara Vandergrift designed this, and she's local here in Kansas City. He even has cute little mother pearl button whiskers, and I better get my head there. Can you guys see this? I'm want to make sure everybody can see. How about Michelle help guide me as to what I'm seeing? How's that, Michelle?
We're a little delayed, so I'll let you know.
Okay, here we go.
There you go.
Okay, there we are. So this guy has the 4-hole example of a mother of pearl button with the cross. So when you're thinking about creating a little, doll or toy, try mother of pearl buttons for the eyes. They're just a perfect touch, I think, many times, right? And then I think this guy might be the oldest bunny in my collection. And I'm not sure. I've had him for many years, probably bought him in Kansas City, or I may have bought him in Des Moines, or potentially when I was traveling to I used to travel to the folk art shows in Valley Forge, Pennsylvania, and he may have journeyed back from Pennsylvania. But I think he's a real interesting, simple button. Simple rabbit bunny, and he's just made like of a cloth that then seems like it had been coated after it was sewn, and then he's got a great little face there. I think I love the primitive look of him too. I think his look has just universal, timeless appeal. So there you go with another bunny. I will show you that the larger, since I didn't have it large, this is another idea for these printables that I share for the holidays. You could always have a clipboard somewhere hanging in a room or on a easel, and then you could always change out art each season as the seasons change. You could just unclip and change it, for next up maybe is 4th of July. So just an idea. And this clipboard actually is collaged like with the overall really nice pattern that uses the backs of postcards. And I do believe we have this graphic on Amy Berkman too that's already pre-collaged. So that's what else you'll find on the website. You'll find things that are already collaged for you to use. And speaking of postcard backs, I will show you that when I've done these fun little tags, I printed the back. This image is actually one that you have to purchase on Amy Berkman, but it's a series of postcard backs in different sizes. So it's super easy just to print and make things, tags, cards, even mailing one. You still have time to mail one to a friend right now. That's why I wanted to share this in plenty of time. So print off these little guys and, make a card for a friend. It's so much fun to, collage with vintage images, and not to mention vintage notions. And I was lucky enough somebody gave me a really wonderful card this week that was collaged with vintage images and notions. So on Wednesday, I went down to the Sewing Labs, which is a nonprofit that teaches sewing and empowers, all kinds of creative activity in Kansas City. And I did a Facebook Live with Linsa from the Sewing Lab, and it was streamed to Singer's Facebook page. And I'll try to share that again with you guys so you can learn what we had a really fun project. We actually took a man's dress shirt and turned it into an apron. There was a pattern in the Vintage Notions book that we followed, and we went through the steps. It was fun to talk about all the possibilities. In fact, I even have a couple shirts here that I grabbed to remind me to talk about this. Beautiful gingham right now. If you go to the thrift store, check out the men's aisle and see the gingham. Look for gingham shirts. I mean, these are gorgeous gingham shirts. We're going to be doing some fun things with gingham in the future. So anybody out there who's following along with me, you can't go wrong buying gingham at the thrift shop. I've got big ideas for gingham, so just keep that in mind. So we taught the apron, right? And then I have one more idea. This one I had to share today. So we wanted to use every bit of the shirt when we made the apron. So not only did we showcase making the apron, we showcased making face masks as another option with the leftover from the shirt, like taking the arm and opening the arm up and then using that for, face mask fabric. By the way, I do have a couple face mask YouTube videos that show that process with a man's dress shirt. So what else did we make with the leftovers? So we cut off the cuff of the man's dress shirt, right? And you can see there's the cuff. What my favorite notion, the mother of pearl. So all we did, we took the mother of pearl buckle and just slided the cuff through. So then you already have your, your buttonhole and your button sewn on. I'll put it on and show you guys what it looks like. How about that? So this is about the easiest thing you could make. Pretty much just cutting. And I also thought, how much fun would it be to add some, embroidery? You could do this and add more embellishments or things like that with this. But so be out on the lookout for mother of pearl buttons, cuffs, and buckles. So just another fun idea. Love the upcycling and the possibilities of all that we can do with, fabric that's been, forgotten. We can make it modern. What's old is new again. Always a theme that I try to focus on. So back to the card. I still haven't showed you the card. And Lynn, so somebody at the sewing lab wrote me a thank you card. And I thought it was so much fun because I love the vintage graphic, which I think was just cut out of the cover of a pattern, right? And old pattern envelope is what I meant to say. And then I always find this, the seam tape that's like lacy. And I'm like, what am I going to do with it? Well, how cute was this? Just that fun little addition to the card. And just darling. I'm sure this is a ready-made scrapbook paper, but again, you could collage the whole thing yourself. So there was a thank you note from the sewing lab. And again, I'd like, if you have a chance, it's thesewinglab.community. And they have an event coming up too that I told you guys, I'm going to keep talking about it because I'm so excited about it. It's called Making Her Story. History. Making Her Story. Get it? History. I don't think I'm going to say that again, but it's May 20. I'm going to get it right one of these times. May 21st and 22nd in Kansas City. So check out their website. Tickets have gone on sale. There's some wonderful guests that are going to be there, some lectures, some panels. There's going to be even a handmade fair that'll be part of this. And it's going to be connected to the Strawberry Swing, if any of you are familiar with the Strawberry Swing. And Katie, curator Katie from the Strawberry Swing is going to be part of a panel of entrepreneurs in the sewing and quilting business here in Kansas City. So it's going to be a really great event, and I'm going to participate too. So I'm going to do a virtual event as well as an in-person event at the event. So May 21st and 22nd, Friday night and all day Saturday. So mark your calendar now so hopefully you can join the fun. Michelle, how are we doing on time? I just feel like I've talking people's ears off. And Nancy Reynolds says, I love gingham and I have a lot of different colors of it in my stash. Okay, excellent. So it's just a timeless classic fabric. I can't get enough of it, quite honestly. So I'm going to show you one more thing before I wrap it up today, and then I'll do some reminders before I finish. But there was one other publication that I found that had to do with eggs and decorating eggs. And it's in this vintage book called The Clothes We Wear. And so in this book, they tell the history of fabric, really, and how fabric was produced and processed. And one of the images, I was flipping through this the other day, and look at this image. So this is an image of kids dyeing Easter eggs. There we go. How about that? And so the story reads, A Basket of Easter Eggs, or How We Dye Cloth. So this is a story of how fabric was dyed, but they tell the story in a way that they relate it to Easter egg dyeing, which I thought was really quite awesome and entertaining. And I just printed the actual image again so you could see the little darling, fun, nostalgic image of Easter egg dyeing. And it goes into talking about the madder root, which is, if you've ever heard of turkey red, that is the basis for the red, turkey red, and it's the madder root. And there's a little picture. I'd never seen what that really looked like. And the other thing they talk about is indigo, the indigo dyes, and when they were first introduced in America. So this is a really great little book of history, and I've learned a lot reading it. I am going to look at the dates. Let me see here. It is 1926, The Clothes We Wear. So I might find other information that I'll be sharing with you because, on this journey of textiles, I love to share the history. And I think with history grows our appreciation. And with appreciation, we find more joy in needle and thread. And that's really what I love about the history. And I did almost forget to talk to you about embroidery and quilting, two different projects in my collection that I promised to share. So here he is. You might have seen him. I posted his little picture on Instagram. And this little treasure, Michelle, if you're still out there, I think this is a Wright's bias pattern. So if any of you are familiar with Wright's, they used to make the bias that goes around well, we used it on the apron when we did the apron for down at Sewing Labs, our upcycled apron from the Vintage Notions book. And this little guy has a pocket, his overalls he has a little gingham pocket, more gingham. And I think this was probably for like a place to put either clothespins or maybe dirty handkerchiefs. Welcome everybody who's on and new. I love seeing the comments. Appreciate all the comments. And this little guy, I just think he's too much fun holding his suspenders there. So there's one of the bunnies. And then we have another bunny. So here you go. Can everybody see that? Let me know if you like him or her. We're not sure which. So this is an amazing quilt that after I left the sewing lab in Kansas City, downtown, on the way home, I stopped at the River Market Antique Mall, and that's where I found this quilt. And I'm going to I'll try to show you a little bit more. Here's a couple more of the images on the quilt. But I imagine I'll find something special to do with this quilt, and you might see it again. So, but I thought you had to see this cute little bunny that was part of that quilt. And again, I'll try to actually find in one of my vintage Wright's books, the bias books, I have a whole collection of them. And I'll see if I can find this actual pattern and maybe share it with you guys in the coming weeks. So I FYI, I'm not doing a live next week. Next Friday, I'm going to take a break so I can hang out with my family a little bit. And it's a holiday, so holiday weekend. So I won't be here next Friday, but the following Friday, I think, is April 9th. And I hope you'll mark your calendar. 1 o'clock Central. If any of you saw my posts today, I accidentally marked this event at noon. So my apologies for anybody who may have either ended up missing it and is watching the replay, but I don't know what I was thinking. I was too excited about all this, the wonderful vintage treasures I had to share today. So again, my apologies, but I made it an hour later. So there is, I see somebody requested to be in my live video. I didn't know that we could do this. So at some point we will bring some people on live. Maybe it'll be Michelle's mom or maybe her aunt. I think that could be a possibility too. So one thing at a time. We're just figuring out the technology, right, Michelle? Well, I've gone, let's see, it's been 40 minutes, so I probably need to wrap up, right? Okay, you guys. Last couple things, just reminders. So if you got on late, we have a wonderful giveaway. It's on Instagram, and if you get a chance to win this little cute as can be Aliso mini project iron, okay? That's what you get a chance to win. Here, I'll even show you here's the box. Here's the box it comes in. All right. Now you will have the iron will be shipped from Aliso, and you will get to pick the color you want. So in order to enter, go to Instagram and leave a comment sharing who inspired you in history as far as your sewing, quilting, your creative spirit. Many people have posted that it's been their, family members, their grandmother, their mother. People have mentioned Nancy Zeman, so many wonderful people in this industry to inspire us. I'm so thankful for that. And along with the iron, you will also win a series of the Vintage Notions books that Mary Brooks Picken, that were inspired by Mary Brooks Picken, who, as I mentioned, we are featuring on my blog this week. So visit the blog. If you haven't signed up for my newsletter, do that. Follow along on Instagram. And most of all, have a wonderful weekend. I hope you have a sunny, beautiful weekend. I think we have one coming in Kansas City that's going to be gorgeous. Pick up some daffodils if you're at the grocery store. They always brighten your day, right? That's what we talked about. So I hope this has brightened your day, and you'll continue to tune in or watch the replays. Have a wonderful weekend, and thanks to both who's watching on Instagram and people who are watching on Facebook too. And thanks to Michelle for helping me out. Bye, everybody. Oops, I tried to